going to be building the Next Level Racing freestanding keyboard stand. It should be for a keyboard and a mouse. It should look like this. And this has been out of stock for quite some time, for months. Ever since sim racing really took off, I guess, due to all the stay-at-home orders. And I happened to find it at a place in Westbury called Micro Center. I noticed it a month or two ago that they had it in stock. I figured it was a mistake. I never bothered to call them to check on it, and I figured, you know what, let me give them a call. Called them yesterday, they had it in stock. Not only did they have that in stock, but they also had the Next Level Racing single monitor stand as well, the freestanding one. And when I build that, I'll explain why I didn't buy the triple. So I was a little concerned about the finish on this. I wanted to make sure it wasn't a glossy finish like the GT Ultimate, which is what I used to have. I have the GTTrack now, which is a matte black finish. And this is exactly like that, which is nice, so it matches that perfectly. And it seems to be welded and manufactured just like the GTTrack, which if you've had a GT Ultimate and a GTTrack, you would know the differences between the two. Just the build quality, the weld quality, the overall quality. I mean, the GTTrack is so much better than the GT Ultimate. And that's not to say that the GT Ultimate is bad, it's just that the GTTrack is so much better. And aside, again, I don't mean to keep putting it down, but aside from the instructions for the GT Ultimate, my GTTrack, anything I've built related to the GTTrack, all the instructions by Next Level Racing have been great. Alright, so here's what's included. 3 M8 60mm, 3 M8 washers, 2 M8 nuts, an Allen key, a wrench, and 4 adjustable feet. One thing I noticed though with the Next Level Racing instructions, and they should amend them, they never, so here's step 1, and they did this with the GTTrack also. They don't have you put the feet on, whether you use the casters on the GTTrack or the adjustable feet, or even on this has the adjustable feet. They should have you put those on in the beginning, and they don't. It's actually always the last step in the process. With this, it's probably not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be a big deal with this because it's light. Something like the GTTrack is a little different. And just be careful when you're building these, because out of the box, some of the hardware, the nuts and the bolts are a little rusty, which is, I think it's to be expected. I did get actually a little rust on my rug when I was building the GTTrack, so I wiped down the parts now. Basically, I get these boxes, put them in my garage, take all the parts out, wipe them out, lug them upstairs, and don't bring anything up other than the parts that are clean. Might seem a little excessive, but when you have a white rug, getting rust all over it's not ideal. They actually have the hardware pre-installed here. Let's see, it's hard to focus because this is all jet black. And it doesn't look like you go. I think that's focused now. So everything is pre-installed, so you're going to have to remove it beforehand. So for right now, I'm just going to hand tighten everything. And so I'm going to toss the adjustable feet on now. And of course they give you 4. They actually package them and they're protected. And just so you know, these adjustable feet do not protect your floor at all. These are just metal, so if you're going metal to wood, you might want to consider putting some felt pads on these, or rubber pads to prevent them sliding if you're trying to protect your floor. I feel like they have the bolts upside down on these, so let's check and see. So if you look here, I'll unscrew this a little bit. See the bolt. Leave the bolt on, and you screw your feet directly in, and then you can adjust, and then adjust the nut. Oh, these have a protective film on them? These actually have a protective film on them, which I just noticed, I think. See, look at the edge. Can you see that? Can you see the white? I thought that was a protective film over the metal, so it turns out these are stickers. These are rubber. Personally, I still wouldn't count on them. I would put my own on here before I put it on a wood floor, especially, or really any other type of hard floor. Personally, I wouldn't trust these, and I would put my own felt pads on here. So that's up to you, but these are rubber. Of course, these 2 body bolts. So we're gonna loosen this up again. Just a little bit. You're going to want to hand tighten everything, and then use your Allen keys and your open end wrench. So they give you this. Actually, they give you all 3. They always pretty much give you the same tools: an open end wrench, an Allen key with a Phillips head on the end, which I haven't found a use for yet, and the bigger Allen key. So you don't want to go crazy over tightening these, because the frame is hollow and you can certainly start bending it a little bit. And I would always adjust them. I would always tighten them little by little, and not just one completely, because as you tighten the others, then there is a little bit more room to tighten the opposite bolt. See, like that. So you can see here, if I go any further with that. Let's see. It's gonna be hard to see this. But anyhow, if you over tighten this, you're definitely going to start to put a dent in that. And I actually probably put a very slight little dent in it, so you don't want to go crazy with that. All right, so there's that part one. And excuse the mess in the background. Off on the side over here, that's my single monitor stand. And that box over here is my Fanatic handbrake. And this stuff on top of here that's some aluminum extrusion I picked up from 8020.net. So I can raise my Fanatic pedals on the GTTrack, which are extremely low because I have the V3 motion platform mounted. So I'm almost driving it, it's situated in a way where it's almost like a regular car, and it's not comfortable at all to race. Not at all. Next two pieces, we're looking for this. Actually, you know what? Alright, so this is next. You can see everything looks like it's adjustable, which is pretty cool. And also this piece. Alright, now let's see. It's hard to tell from the picture. It's hard to tell from the picture. If you look at this compared to this, they almost look the same length. I guess this one looks slightly longer, so that would be a longer end of this. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with this here. And put it into here. And it might not actually matter. You can probably use either end. You just might limit some adjustability if you use the shorter end as opposed to the longer end. Alright, and it looks like all these fittings here, looks like they're all plastic, so they should not scratch anything. Alright, so this is going like this. Alright, now let me see what this is for. So this is probably, this is going to be for your mouse tray, and this is going to be for your keyboard. And this is now going into the stand over here. Alright, so you're going to want to open this up a little bit. You're going to want to take this off, because it's difficult to get in there. Open it up. And I discovered what they give you a Phillips set for. Right there. See that? Now let's get this back on, which goes right on there. There you go. And we can tighten this up. So the point of this screw and tightening this is to just make sure this bracket, I'll call it, doesn't slip off the bottom pipe. And then this one is to tighten the top. This is this feels stripped to me though. You can see it's not closing in at all, and it keeps turning. So I'm not going to play with that too much because I don't want to strip it. I might have to contact Next Level Racing to see if they'll send me a new one of those. Alright, so that's that. Now the trays for the keyboard and the mouse, they're just going to slide on like the other part did. the whole thing is built the same. So those might be a little bit of a pain to get on there, but we'll see in a moment. This whole thing has to be tightened. Just so you're aware, these are all loose. So you need to tighten all this stuff. The nuts inside here, and you can see a split in them. So they're actually not that strong. You definitely cannot over tighten this, or else you'll crack the plastic. Alright, let's get this side put on. And then we will tighten everything up. You're basically pushing the keyboard tray all the way to the end, and the same for the mouse. And then don't forget to tighten everything up. Just tighten everything by hand first. All these nuts, and they just make them snug with your open end wrench. I tightened up all these brackets. I tightened the Phillips head on that clamp. I just didn't go crazy. I'll call these wing nuts. Alright, so in the manual, they show you how to adjust the height, which is pretty obvious. They show you how to adjust the angle, which is also pretty obvious. They give you some mounting position options here, which is pretty cool. I guess it depends on if you're a lefty or a righty, whatever you're more comfortable with, and some cable management options. I didn't even check the brackets on the bottom, but it looks like there might be a spot to clip them in. They give you a high quality mouse pad. And they also give you the same quality, another nice quality keyboard pad, which is pretty cool. They're nice and heavy, very thick. So yeah, not bad. And if you look to see what I'm coming from right now, it's kind of a disaster. So I really haven't been driving too much because I have to sit myself in the rig. It's a pain in the neck to grab my keyboard and my mouse. I have no room to really use them on the tray next to the steering wheel, basically the wheel mounting plate. And it's hard for me to see my monitor because it's only a 32 curved, so I really can't see all the settings. If I'm trying to make some adjustments and I have to watch a few videos, I really can't do that. So it's a complete headache, so I really haven't been doing too much. Now with this, plus the monitor stand, I can get the monitor. I'm going to hopefully the legs of the monitor stand are wider than the rig, so I can basically get the monitor just above the wheelbase is what I'm hoping. That'll bring it about 2, maybe even 3 feet closer to my face, which is great. I will have the keyboard and mouse on a stand closer to me, which is also great. And I've got to get my Rift S. I just bought the ceiling mount kit for it, so I've got to get that situated as well, because that's something else that's also a pain to use right now. So overall impressions of the Next Level Racing freestanding keyboard stand. The metal is nice, it's finished nice. The keyboard and the mouse pad are also very nice. I don't love the brackets. They're plastic. They seem very cheap and flimsy. They seem like they're going to strip and crack. But overall, I think I only paid $89.99 for it. I don't really care. It's good enough. I do, once I get more familiar with aluminum extrusion, I eventually want to customize one and attach it to my rig, and make something that I can adjust on some type of hinge and push it down to the floor when I'm not using it, and raise it when I do want to use it, and maybe be able to swivel it in and out. I just don't have the time right now to do that because I want to get the rest of the rig going. So I figure I'll prioritize, for 90 bucks, this is a good temporary solution, and that's it. I will make a new video when I build the freestanding single monitor stand from Next Level Racing, and I'll also make some more videos on the overall rig itself and my full setup. So if you want to see those videos, make sure you subscribe, and that's it. Thanks for watching.